The conversation today has been about a couple of things. The first one being wildfires. We saw quite a few the last couple of days popping up. The wind certainly has not helped it at all, the situation.
Same old story.
Same old story, yep.
Yeah, and two in particular. There's one wildfire up that persists up near Linfield in Middleton, and another one down near the Blue Hill Reservation, both of which are still sort of untamed. They're working on it, but again, as we'll talk, we really need a legit rainfall.
Yeah.
Finally, it's in the forecast.
I saw some of the pictures from the Milton storm, the Blue Hills Reservation.
Early this morning, it was brutal, yeah.
It was absolutely crazy, the fire that was down there. So our hearts go out to all the firefighters that are working tirelessly to try to tamp down some of these winds. And
yeah, I mean, we've had just several days. It's on repeat, right? We've obviously the dry weather, the low relative humidity, and we've red flag warning again up today because the winds just kind of keep gusting today. It's not as bad as it's been in some days past, but still gusty enough to really make fighting these fires a real difficulty.
All it takes is a little spark, and it's spreading. I had a school visit today up in Linfield, and one of the kids asked, what is causing all of these? I think the biggest thing is as we enter into fall, we get the leaf drop. And normally we'll get, a few rains, a good soaking rain to, remove any fire threat, but we just haven't picked up a good rain to soak the leaves, make them not flammable as much.
We'll show some stats on that later, but we haven't picked up a good soaking rain literally for months. But anyways, brush fire risk, again, high today, and so there's not a red flag warning yet for tomorrow. There probably won't be, only because the winds are going to be very light tomorrow. Yeah. It'll still be a dry, sunny day, another very pleasant day, for most of the region, but I think with the winds being so light, we probably won't see the red flag warning issue. Doesn't mean we still won't have brush fires to contend with.
Absolutely. Outdoor banning in a lot of communities banned at this point. So, please, if you plan on doing anything like that, plan ahead, but definitely don't recommend it. Terry, you mentioned a couple of those fires. The Middleton one up towards Linfield's reservation, and then also the Milton fire, rather.
Yeah, I mean, obviously wind direction has everything to do with if you're in the line of fire, so to speak, and if you're seeing smoke in your town or smelling it. Today, the wind direction is mostly out of the north-northwest, and then as we'll see tomorrow, it's going to show the winds coming on shore. It's really just kind of a light and variable wind that'll be sort of nudging I think for the most part, it'll be more of an easterly or northeasterly fetch. So tomorrow, that Middleton fire, if you're in areas like maybe Tewksbury, Lowell, up near there, you may actually see or smell some smoke.
Absolutely. And a lot of you sent us pictures of just how thick that smoke was, especially around sunset or sunrise. You can kind of see the glow off on the horizon. Really incredible stuff. It's the same beat goes on, right? Driest fall to date.
Boston now number one.
Yep.
We were sitting number two for the longest time, and now we're clearly number one, a half an inch, above or below, I guess you would say, the 1946. So same thing in Worcester. Worcester has remained number one, driest fall to date for quite some time.
And look at that. An inch and a half.
Almost doubled.
Two,
yeah. So obviously the rainfall that's coming on Thursday, which we'll talk about soon, will nudge these numbers a little bit up. We'll see how much. Obviously, it'd be great to have a real soaker here.
I think that this is just an incredible stat here. Driest 90-day period in 150 years of record keeping for Boston.
This is any 90 days.
Any 90 days, no matter what month, 90 days, driest 90 days. You're living in it right now.
It's pretty remarkable. You can say,
and that's why we're in the situation.
Absolutely. Now, good thing, again, still a good thing that it's happening, I think, this time of year. If this were happening in spring, say, early summer, obviously the water restrictions would be off the charts. It's never a good thing to be, this dry, obviously, but if there's going to be a time of year, I guess you could argue maybe winter as well, but it could be worse.
Yes.
These are just for the meteorological fall season, so September, October, and into November. And you can see we're closing in on 10 inches below average for Worcester. Yeah,
just incredible stuff. Same sort of story for Boston. To achieve the driest fall on record, we would need less than 1.02
through the end of the month.
Through the end of the month.
So it really comes down to what happens on Thursday.
And
for the most part, and perhaps late into next week. But I think Thursday is the best chance of seeing a good soaker. Some showers may linger Friday and Saturday, which we'll get to, but Thursday's the big one, and I don't think anybody would be unhappy if we did not break the driest fall on record.
Yeah, exactly. It's not one of those achievements that you that you want.
But it's been a while, right? So this is the last time the city of Boston received a tenth of an inch, a quarter, a half, and you can see going back just a tenth of an inch or more goes back almost 3 weeks, I guess. Half an inch or more goes back to late September.
Wow.
And if we were to get an inch from this storm on Thursday, it'd be the first time since early August.
A few months.
That's a long time.
Yeah, a long
especially
long time.
for this part of the country to go that amount of time without any significant rain is very, very rare, very odd. So let's go through the timeline.
Yeah, so timeline. We'll start to build some clouds later Wednesday. I think Wednesday overall is a pretty nice day, so go out and enjoy it. Start to build the clouds late Wednesday into Thursday. Notice what we see as we head into Thursday morning. We start to see some of those showers creeping into the picture. Initially, I would call it kind of dreary Thursday morning, and then later morning into the afternoon, we get this slug of rain that moves in.
I mean, it would be great if this is obviously just one model, but that would be great to see right there. We haven't seen yellows and oranges on our radar in quite some time. So this is around midday on Thursday. Obviously, the rain is pushed up into Boston. May take the longest to get up towards like the Maine coast, New Hampshire coast. But it'll get there, and really the whole area really in for an all-day soaker starting around midday going into Thursday evening.
Yeah, so the reason that we're seeing sort of this onshore wind, we get this low pressure inland to our west, and it's just kind of drawing in that moisture source from the ocean. And so this is a really good chance to get some good soaking rains for us. You mentioned some of that lingering rain into Friday. A less of a rain amount, and also kind of hit or miss shower.
Hit or miss showers on Friday, and it could even linger into the first part of Saturday. I think Sunday's a little bit better, but this whole system just sort of stalls over us. There's like a upper level system where lows are kind of pinwheeling around, and so it's going to be around for a couple of days. Again, the heavy rain is Thursday, but Friday, Saturday, we're still sort of underneath that sort of upper level low pressure area.
So here's a timeline of when you can expect some of the heaviest rain. I think starting around noon, later morning Thursday, into the afternoon, evening, even into the nighttime hours, probably a pretty good chance you're getting some soaking rains.
Yeah, a good 6 to 12 hour soaker, which is exactly just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we hold on to some of those rain chances as we talked about for Friday during the midday and afternoon hours.
But much less intense. The majority of the rainfall accumulation that happens will be basically in that 12-hour window, Thursday afternoon and evening. And how much are we talking? It sure would be nice to get an inch or more, and that's what some of the models are indicating. On this map, the dark blue is an inch.
Yep.
So that's a pretty good, that'd be a pretty good soaker. This is a little bit more tighter look, and I think you'll see a lot of sort of inch plus measurements. That would be fantastic if that happened in Boston.
And what I love about this too, it's widespread, right? Everyone's gonna play the same ball game. Yeah, everyone's gonna get it.
Maybe a little bit less on the Cape and the Islands if that sort of band lifts north of them, but still, nonetheless, if everyone could pick up about an inch, that'd be a great drought. Not a drought buster, but a little bit of a drought denter.
Denter.
Absolutely.
This also could bring some snow to some areas, especially those higher elevations in the greens and the whites, perhaps even the Berkshires. As this wraps up and does draw down some cold air Friday, we could see some snow.
Not a major story from this storm at all, but just kind of a noteworthy sort of end to it on Friday that probably need to be about 1,500 feet or higher to have a chance of some wet snow. Like you said, the Berkshires maybe more so up in the whites and greens. But, first time we're showing a snow map of some sort this year. So
locally.
Notable, yes. So a notable sort of finish to the storm. Things will get colder on Friday and Saturday, and maybe a little bit of snow in some of the mountains.
So that's a lot that's happening at the ground. We have a couple of things. Yeah, let's look up. We do have an International Space Station flyby. That's
coming up in about an hour and a half. Yes.
Yeah. So this is right after I guess an hour after sunset. At this
sunset
point.
is 4:18 right now.
It's throwing me off. Yeah. So today 5:08 to 5:14. Max height 40 degrees above the horizon. So not too far.
High,
but moving from the west to the northeast.
Yep.
It's a pretty good pass.
It's a great pass. I mean, it's not the best pass as far as height goes, but, this time of night, people driving home, and I don't want you to look at, you probably shouldn't be doing this. But if you have some clear sky, unobstructed view of the sky, try to check it out, 5:08 to 5:14. And then after that, tomorrow morning, just before sunrise, a great shot of the Mars and Moon in the southwest. So a couple things to look for.
We've definitely been lucky over the past, I would say entire year, but we've had the full Beaver moon. That's still really bright, not full, but it's still really bright in the sky. And so you'll be able to see Mars really clearly.
So, bit of a pattern change coming up.
Yeah.
I think that's not necessarily a bad thing considering where we've been. We were talking about that upper level low sort of stationary overs Friday, Saturday, and that's sort of that blue area in the northeast. You see that big dip in the jet stream Friday and Saturday, and that starts to pull away on Sunday. And then we start looking towards next week and obviously a big travel week.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's any major storminess. It does, the new pattern looks to be sort of, as you see here, a big dip into sort of the central part of the country into Texas, and then the jet stream sort of almost riding right up into New England. So that could mean storminess sort of like emanating from Texas, riding up, into the northeast, which again wouldn't be a bad thing.
So the jet stream, we can call that sort of the storm track, right? And so when you talk about storms emanating in Texas, they ride right along that roller coaster, that train track, right into our area. We kind of see that pattern breaking with Thursday's storm, and it's kind of sticking around into next week too.
Right, and as of right now, if you're thinking about either travel Tuesday, Wednesday next week, or on Thursday, some of the models are indicating a sort of a rainstorm coming up here late Wednesday into Thursday. It's still a ways off. I wouldn't write that in stone yet. We'll obviously be tracking it, but doesn't look like at least any major. There's not going to be any big snowstorm, any major like cold, just sort of seasonal with the chance of maybe some showers at some point around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, definitely.
Just breaking that down a little bit more, this is, again, this week, quite a wrapped up little storm.
Absolutely. You see all that cold through parts of New York, into the Poconos, even into parts of western Pennsylvania. That's the area that we would see some of that snow. As this system wraps up, goes into the Gulf of Maine, still kind of a windy, blustery Saturday, and then even into Sunday.
Yeah, I think we've had some really great weekends here, but
this weekend, not one of them.
This weekend, I mean, again, not a whole lot of precipitation, maybe a few leftover shower Saturday, but definitely windy, blustery, probably highs around 50, but it'll feel colder than that. So going to be tough if you still have leaves on the ground and you're talking, a blustery northwesterly wind, might be a little tough to wrangle.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, at least some rain on the forecast. I think this is our last graphic for today, but I think most folks are just focused on, can we need some immediate rain just to tamper down the brush fires out there now.
Yep.
And then again, after that, it's okay, what does my holiday travel look like? And, we'll be talking about that coming up in the next few days.
For sure. For sure. And if you are doing any traveling, that sort of thing, we want to hear from you. We want to hear what some of those plans are, take some pictures, whatever it may be. Also, as you prepare for Thursday's rain event, let us know what's happening in your backyards. Rain reports always important.
And we should mention Thursday, also a big day. That's our winter weather forecast day. So the entire team got together and we're going to air our winter weather forecast Thursday at 6 p.m.
This is the way I've been teasing it.
Okay.
We're going to deliver this in a way that you have never seen a winter weather forecast delivered to you.
That's a good tease right there.
So I encourage you to tune in, again, Thursday, 6 p.m. It is a question that has been on everyone's mind, even at the schools that I was at.
I'm sure everybody wants to know. We've sort of hinted at it over the last several weeks about what the winter would be like, but this is our definitive forecast.
The forecast.
On Thursday.
Yes. So we encourage you to tune in to that. We appreciate everyone tuning in right now, this Tuesday afternoon. We'll have another one of these chats in the near future, but for now, be safe at home.